everyone, it's Sharonda from Pay Or Wait, and today I'm going to be reviewing The Chi Season 3, Episode 10, A Couple, 2, 3. I don't know if that's how it's supposed to have said, the title of this week's episode, but that's what came to my mind. But we were at the season finale, you guys. I felt like it was just yesterday when we started episode 1. I don't know where all the time went, but clearly since this pandemic, I have no sense of time in the first place. But here we are. We were talking about the last episode, season 3 finale. There were a lot of like subplots that needed to be wrapped up that I didn't necessarily know if they were going to be able to do that or not. But one thing that this finale got right, it finally answered our questions about Tiffany being pregnant. What happened to that baby at the end of season 2? And so once I get into her part of the story, I'll be more than happy to give my thoughts on that. But I'm gonna say, you know what? Kudos to the writer's room, because the whole time I was just like, you guys weren't gonna mention it. You weren't gonna say nothing, but you was like, I got you, Sharonda. Just wait till the last episode and we're gonna answer your questions. And I really thought that they did a great job with that, even though we had to wait a whole, 10 episodes to get to this point. But the episode starts out, we know that Ronnie was killed at the end of last week's episode. They were trying to do a Game of Thrones style. I wasn't expecting it. Typically, it's second to last episode. Game of Thrones, somebody big gonna die. I didn't know it was gonna be Ronnie. I didn't know we were following, kind of this flow that we have from Game of Thrones. So, we are introduced to Ronnie's funeral. I was actually really shocked to see that he had as many people as he did at the funeral, just given the, how people felt about Ronnie since, season 1, episode 1, everything that Ronnie has been through. It was happy and refreshing to actually see some people there to mourn his death. And so can we talk about this lady at the beginning of the episode? Because baby, she was singing and she was doing all them little runs and stuff. I said, girl, I took my shoe off and I threw it at the TV, but I made sure to throw it to the side of the TV because we ain't got no TV money to buy a new one. But I was like, girl, you better sing that, and you did it a cappella as well. I felt so bad for Tracy and his friends, because he was literally about to meet up with them in Springfield and get his life together. But most of all, I actually was very sad for Keisha, because, at this point in time, Ronnie is the only one who had some sort of inkling as to what Keisha was, what she was going through, what she was dealing with. He was the only one that really came into contact with the person who had kidnapped her. And so I just felt really bad for her, because we see as she's talking to Ronnie that she says, she finally has someone to talk to about this. And even with her dealing with the trauma of taking a life, and then kind of that one person in the world that she really could confide to and talk to, and who could understand as best as he could where she was coming from. He's now gone. And so I thought it was really touching when Keisha, walks up and she tells him thank you one last time. And I was just like, was poor Ronnie. He just couldn't be happy. Couldn't go to Springfield, get his life together. But I guess the person who I do want to talk to next is, I do want to talk about Kevin. So even though Kevin did make me mad in the episode, how he reacted to his sister saying that she was pregnant, we're going to get on that a little bit later. But he went to talk to Gemma and to kind of talk, she could tell that something's wrong with him, something's bothering him, kind of him dealing with all the heaviness of everything that has happened, from his sister being gone to her being found, and then him not really recognizing who his sister is as she's really dealing with this trauma. And she asks him if he wants to talk, and then he tells her no. And I find it interesting that Gemma actually shares with her her experiences of always feeling like you have the weight of the world on you and no one to talk to, and how all of that weight led her to try to commit suicide. And she had a therapist, and she talked to her therapist, and she even talks about how she talks to her therapist about Kevin, talked to her therapist about the decision to give her virginity to Kevin. And I thought that was, I'm really happy that Gemma does have someone to talk to, and that the decisions that she makes, she doesn't make them lightly, that she actually does talk it through with someone in a safe space. And I'm happy that she actually shared that with Kevin and really, encouraged him, like, hey, you talked to a therapist in the past. I think you should really do that. I think it would be very helpful to have someone to talk to really get all of this stress and all of this weight off of you. So they end up getting it in, okay? She got her back blown out. I don't know if she really got her back blown out. I mean, it was his first time. Lord knows what the heck he was doing. But I thought it was funny when he was like, was it supposed to be that fast? And then she was like, yes. She's like, I like that she tells him about how porn gives unrealistic expectations of sex. Man, if only we could have this talk with some of these adult males and even adult females out in these streets trying to act like they porn stars. What are you doing? You can clearly tell when you messing with somebody, y'all look at way too much porn. Like, it's a problem and it's affecting you sexually. It really is. I really wish that more people would talk about this on TV and in movies, because porn is really ruining people's sex lives, believe it or not. My parents are watching. That's just what my friends told me. I don't know nothing about that because, I ain't giving it up to nobody. I'm just saying, that's if my parents is watching. Daddy, don't be snitching. So, I want to talk about Papa because Papa had a very interesting storyline for this episode. So, they kind of foreshadow what was to come when we saw Papa walk in on his dad, Camille giving his dad money. He took the money. But this time around, they couldn't even let Ronnie just be a couple of minutes in the dirt, okay? The police show up. They take Papa's dad, they arrest him, and then we later find out that he's been arrested for money laundering. I'm assuming this has some connection to Otis, as we see Gemma's dad, her raggedy daddy. I should have known something was up with him when he endorsed Otis. But we know that he has something to do with it. It's a connection to money laundering. It seems that Papa's daddy is snitching out here in these streets so he can get back to the house of the Lord and continue to lie to all these people. But yeah, this has a really crazy effect on Papa because, in Papa's eyes, his dad has always been, he's this good person. And up until recently, he's never questioned any of the decisions that he has, anything that he's told him. And now he's kind of being confronted again with his dad might not be the quote unquote man of God, that he has always known him to be. And so I think it's interesting how he's kind of dealing with this. And I thought it was funny at the funeral when Jake made the comment like, oh, I know a lot of people are happy that Ronnie dead, which I was like, yeah, that's probably true. And then he was like a saint. He was like a sinner is just a saint who got up, who fell down and got back up. And he was like, I think I heard that from a song, Yolanda Adams and Donnie McClurkin. And then he was like, I thought he gay. He said, well, he ain't no more. Y'all stop. But that's a good song though. Get back up again. Get back up again. I'm sorry. Let me stop. But Papa was so stressed out that he allowed Kevin and Jake, little raggedy behinds, to get him smoking. I said, my goodness, they have finally had a horrible effect on them. They got him smoking, but Kevin and Jake just thought that he was too stressed out that he needed to have a smoke because they were ruining his high. But I think one of the interesting things that Papa does say in the course of this whole conversation is that, I'm not ready to take care of a household. I'm not ready to take care of my mom and my Isha. And sometimes we never really think about, when these families are broken up, when we have the male figures or even sometimes female figures taken outside of the home, that causes this kid to now have to become an adult so quickly because of the system, because of how many of us are incarcerated, whether sometimes it's right, a lot of times it's not right. So I think it's interesting that they bring all of these things up. But I love that Kevin and Jake know that their friend just needs help. He just needs a boost. And they call Maisha to come and check on him. And then she gives Papa her chain. And I thought it was so cute. She's like, I got the hottest dude in the game wearing my chain. I said, y'all so dang on cute. Y'all just make me believe in love sometimes. Just sometimes. Only when I'm watching this episode and then we go back to normal. But I thought it was so cute that, they said they love each other. And that, she tells him too, like, hey, like sometimes you need to look out for yourself because people are going to disappoint you. And sometimes they can even be your family. And I just love how they have these mature conversations and, she really pushes him to be better. He pushes her to be better. So I thought it was super cute. But we see towards the end of the episode that he gets Misha a necklace with a P for Papa. I thought that was so cute. But him and his dad, they actually end up having a talk. I was scared for him at first because when his daddy first tried to come talk to him at the pizza place and then Papa got buck with him, I said, he's like, I ain't gonna be no child forever. I said, oh, Papa, honey, you can still lose your life right now, okay? I know you might be angry. You're probably right. But, don't do that because you had me scared for your life, okay? But they end up having a conversation and, his dad tells him, no one's above God. And I think that's important because a lot of people think that pastors are like this on the same level as God. It's just like, you're still a man. You still have temptation. You're tempted all the time. You can still sin. Like, you are a man. You're not on the same level as God, even if you are supposed to be a man of God and you are a preacher. So I was happy that he reiterated that. But Papa lets him know, like, we just need you. Like, you sitting up here talking about you an ambitious man and you want the world for us. Like, we just want you. Like, all this other stuff doesn't matter. Like, I don't understand what you were doing with the money in the first place. Talk about he wanted to help other people. Sir, have a seat, because I was just like, he's so raggedy. But do you guys think that Camille was behind this? Because we saw at the end of last week's episode that, you know, Jake had stole the file out and he gave it to Trig. Trig gave it to Camille. And, you know, everyone's asking, even Rose stopped by and was like, hey, why haven't you used the information that gave you to stop him from winning? And then Camille's just like, you're not going to use me as a pawn. You're upset with him. You're not going to use me, but you looking cute in that red lipstick, boo. And I was just like, Camille, leave her alone. But Camille had a point. And I wonder if Camille only shared the information, because I'm trying to figure out, how did the police figure out that he was a part of this whole money laundering thing? So I don't know if Camille only turned Papa's dad in to get back at him for taking her money and then going back and endorsing Otis after the fact. So that's just my little thought behind that. I think Camille has something to do with this, but she just didn't want no smoke with Otis, him trying to kill her or take her out. So I think she was just like, I'ma lay low. I ain't doing none of this, but that's just my whole thought process on that. But she ends up losing the election, and you know, she basically speaks about change, about how change is needed, but some people really oppose it. Like, they know things need to change, but they really oppose it, even though change is exactly the thing that they need at that point in time. I thought that was pretty interesting. I don't know if we're gonna see Camille next season. I truly think that Camille has something to do with Papa's dad going to jail. I just wonder who is behind it. Do they have the information that's leading up to Otis? What is that going to say, like, do for Gemma's dad? What happens when, obviously, I'm assuming Kevin and all of them are going to find out that his dad has something to do with this? What will Papa think when he finds out that Jake is the reason that his dad went to jail? I don't know what's going to happen, but that just opened up a whole list of, like, endless possibilities that could happen in season 4. So I guess the main people to talk about, I guess we could talk about Otis and we could talk about Trig and the whole custody thing back and forth. So the judge is deciding who gets custody of Jake. So they all have to go to this court hearing, and, you know, she'll make a final decision if Jake is going to go to Trig or if Jake is going to go to Otis. So then before he can actually get to the courthouse, that's when Gemma's dad comes and talks to him and tells him that Papa Daddy, he's snitching, essentially. So he ends up not showing up to the custody hearing, and Trig ends up getting custody. I thought the whole moment of them in the elevator was really cute, and how, you know, he asked him, are you nervous? And then Jake was like, no. And then Trig was like, well, I'm nervous, because clearly, like, Imani was like, what is wrong with you? Like, why are you tripping like this? Like, calm down a little bit. But I thought that entire scene was cute. I thought it was cute what Jake said at the court hearing. But we see later in the episode, Rose asks Otis a question, why didn't you show up? And he says, why have one brother when you can own 2? And I was just like, but is that really how you felt? Or did you really not make it because you thought you was finna go to jail, and then you worked out this whole other side deal? I was just like, I don't know how I necessarily feel about that. I don't know if I really believe it, but I'm just gonna go with it for right now. But basically, the reason why he says that, he goes to see Trig at his house and he tells him congratulations. He basically tells him, like, hey, I let you win because I need someone to take care of the 63rd Street while I'm being mayor. I can't do both. I have to be separated some way, shape, or form. And so he offers Trig, you know, the option to be the person to run that. He tells him that he'll pay for the school, but he has to earn it by being the leader of the 63rd Street mob. Wow, why is their music so loud right now? My goodness. Sorry, y'all, if you can actually hear that. But so we see that Trig initially says no, but after he tells him how he skipped the custody hearing, how he has the sheriff in his back pocket, how nothing's going to happen to him, he's not going to go back to jail, then Trig agrees, which this really throws me off, because the whole point of Trig coming back is to get his brother so they can immediately leave Chicago, start a new life, because he says that him nor Imani wants to go back to jail. And to see the look of disappointment in Imani's face, I was looking the same way. I was just like, Trig, are you serious right now? Why would you trust him? Why would you not think he's going to set you up. What are you going to do when he realizes that you guys are the reason that they figured out about this whole money laundering thing? It just can't end well for anyone. And he probably, I say the dude that's going to kill Trig, he going to kill Rose, or possibly kill Imani to get back at Trig. I don't know, but it just didn't seem right for him to make that decision at the end of the episode. It just seemed really out of character. And then it reinstitutes this theme that, you know, even though someone went to jail, they're still going to make the same decisions even if they get out. You can't rehabilitate yourself. You can't change. And I don't like the message that necessarily sends for that storyline. So I was actually really, really bothered by that. And then it just took away all the great things that I saw about Trig when Trig was trying to figure out, I don't know how to lead a family. Like, I've never seen a father figure lead a family, so I don't know how to do that. And Imani says, I'm going to support you. But I don't know if Imani can really get behind him for doing this. I'm just not sure. But we do see an interaction between Imani and Jake after he comes to live with them. And, you know, essentially he asks her what manslaughter is, and she tells him the story about what happened with her and her dad and how she had to take care of herself, how she knows how to cook. And then she told him to clean the dishes, and he like got a little attitude. And I was like, boy, watch your mouth, okay? I was happy that Imani checked him. It's just like, hey, you need to learn responsibility. Nobody's trying to order you around, but if I cook, you're gonna clean dishes. And I'm just thinking to myself, why did you have to figure that? Like, why did you even have to go through all of that with him in the first place? But I'm glad that he got his act together and he understood that the dynamics are definitely going to be different, but you will respect me. So I'm really excited to see the interaction. I thought it was really cute how, you know, Jake accepted her for who she was, and how well versed he was, you know, with her. And, you know, she was like, that's cool, doing you a good job. I said, it sure is. Look at Jake getting better. Even told Kevin to tell Gemma, he said, what's up? Which I think that he might end up, I don't know. I feel like him and Gemma gonna have something going on. I just feel like they foreshadowed that this season, but we shall see. But the main people that I do want to talk about is, I guess I could talk about Keisha first, because I do want to get on Emmett and Tiffany because I have a lot of issues with that whole storyline. But we do see that we find out that Keisha was pregnant. And in this episode, we see that she's talking to Jada to really try to get counsel to figure out her options. And she knows that Jada had Emmett when she was really young, and she wanted to get, you know, her 2 cents on what she should do. And I like that Jada reinforces to her that whatever decision you make for yourself, it's a good decision. And you have to trust that. And how she has no regrets about Emmett, but she does wish that she understood all of the options that were available to her. And how back in the day that people who got pregnant, it was just, you got to have the baby. There's no, you have all these other options like adoption, or you can, you know, have an abortion. You know, it was never given, like the only option for them was you just have this baby and you figure it out. But she does tell her that she can put her in contact with someone who can help her, you know, who understands the situation she's going in. And then it ends up being Tiffany. And we finally get our answer that she was pregnant, but her and Emmett decided that at this point in time, they could only afford to take care of the kid that they have. So she decided to have an abortion. But I thought it was really sweet for, you know, because Tiffany do not like Keisha, but that she was very kind to her and honest with her, and kind of how she was just really there for Keisha in her time of need as she's trying to figure out what she wants to do. And so we see that she ends up going to the doctor's appointment, and she tells her mom she can't go through with the abortion. And she talks about like everything happens for a reason. What if Ronnie's mom aborted him? Who would have been the person to save me if Ronnie wasn't on this planet? And I thought it was really interesting how, you know, you can show, even though people think like people's lives don't matter, how that one life is the reason why she's still here today and why they found her. But we see that she goes home. Kevin hears everyone talking in her room. He finds out that she's pregnant. He has this whole weird reaction, which I was just like, I mean, I can understand the reaction. Because a lot of people, I can see how people feel like, why would you want to keep your, you know, your kidnapper's baby, right? But, you know, to her, she feels like it's not the baby's fault, and everything does happen for a reason, that it's something that she could possibly get through. And so I like how towards the end of the episode, we see that she's running again by herself, that she's starting to find her independence. She's still on this journey for healing, but she's still making progress at the same time. But let's talk about Raggedy Emmett, okay? Because I know that everyone loves, I don't hate Emmett. Let me be clear, because people be thinking I hate Emmett. I just want Emmett to do better and be better. But so I did like at the beginning of the episode when he was making it about himself, talking about why Ronnie had to get shot in my place, especially on opening day, and then how he responded to Keisha talking about, man, this is the first time I was ever had certainty that I wasn't somebody's father when they told me they were pregnant. And I was just like, Emmett, you be so good at times, and then you just be so terrible at the same dang old time. I just don't understand it. Essentially, Tiffany and Emmett want to get married, and they're going to get married very quickly. So they go to talk to their therapist, and their therapist is like, hey, don't let this little dashiki and these 3 degrees fool you. Why are y'all rushing to get married? Who are you trying to convince? Like, you don't need to ask my permission to get married. That's on you. But you guys need to make sure before you enter into this commitment that it's something that it's like that you've thought this through. And them talking about how, I did like how they weren't going to spend a lot of money on the wedding, and how they were going to use that to get their own place, which I told, that is good thinking, you guys. You don't got to spend all that money. When y'all make money in the future, you can go back and renew your vows, okay? But it just felt like everything was telling them, like, don't do this. His daddy didn't end up stealing the jackets and the wedding dress. But Tiffany was like, I don't care. We only going to wear them one time. I said, I mean, your mind's in the right place, but that's just why y'all wearing stolen clothes to y'all wedding. Just wear some regular clothes. It's not even that serious. But we have this conversation where Jada tells Tiffany she's so happy that, you know, she is with Emmett, and I'm assuming, did Tiffany make it seem like her mom wasn't on board with this, that she isn't okay with her marrying Emmett? Because I would be totally okay with that. But I love how Jada stepped up and was, you know, such a good mother to her through her bachelorette party, got her a woman as her little stripper and stuff like that. I don't want no strippers at my bachelorette party. I'm just like, I'm okay. No, I'm good. But she had a good time. I did feel a little weird when they were doing the questions back and forth, how Emma got some of the questions wrong. Then when he said that the thing that he loved about her is her booty and her loyalty, I just feel like, what else about Tiffany do you admire? Because to me, loyalty, because she stood with you when you were basically being disrespectful, cheating on her, disrespecting her, I just don't find that as a redeemable quality on why you should be marrying someone. Whether if a woman felt that way or if a man felt that way, I feel like there needs to be other reasons why somebody wants to be with you and spend the rest of their life with you. And I find it interesting that his raggedy daddy didn't do nothing for his thing. He got a coupon for a couple's massage, said they was a couple so they can get a discounted massage, didn't call none of his friends' child, didn't ask for no friends' numbers, no nothing. Then started talking to him, telling him that he need a prenup. And he says, you can come into money, even though y'all broke now, it doesn't matter. You can come into money later in life. Now, everybody got different ideas on prenups, and you know, you like it, I love it. I'm fine either way as long as both of you agreed upon this, but his dad did have a point. But I just feel like when you enter into a marriage doing all of that, it just seems like you're already dooming it to fail. But I do understand the financial repercussions of not having one, so I definitely, you like it, I love it. That's where I am with prenups. But I don't know if this is foreshadowing that the business is going to pop off, but I guess for me, the entire time, I'm just like, I'm not okay with his marriage. His marriage is built on a lie. He hasn't told her about sleeping with Dom. And that's why I like the advice that his mom gives him, basically telling him that you need to honor her how you would with her in your presence as you would with her not in your presence. I appreciated that. But the fact that he hasn't told her about Dom, obviously she's going to find out. Dom and Emmett work together, so it's not like this temptation is going to stop just because you're married. So I'm just really confused. And then even with her bachelorette party talking about, I'm a real ride or die, I'm a loyal, I'm just like, that's just not cute to me. I mean, you should always be loyal to the person that you're with. Don't get me wrong. But I just didn't hear any other qualities on her end, on Emma's end, that makes me feel like they are a match made in heaven and they should get married. It just didn't make any sense to me. That's just my little thoughts about it. But I just, I don't know. So they get married. So the episode opens, the season opens with a marriage, ends with a marriage. And that's where we're at. So I'm assuming that there's going to be trouble in paradise for Tiffany and Emmett. Or maybe I hope that I'm proven wrong and Emmett just gets his life together. But I'm pretty sure that's not what's going to happen, because Dom was upset about him getting married to Tiffany, and they've had sex, and he still wants her, she still wants him. It's just a recipe for disaster. But overall, my thoughts for the season, I do like that they tied up some of the loose ends in regards to Tiffany. I'm still a little weirded out by how the direction they took for Trig's storyline. I don't know if that's just to keep all of these characters on the show, but I'm interested to see the dynamic of Trig and Douda working together, what the relationship between Douda and Jake still looks like, because he's still going to be paying for Jake's schooling. I'm assuming that will be PR for him, to see what his relationship is with police as they try to hide this, how Kevin or Gemma reacts once they realize that her dad is just as dirty as Douda is, when Papa finds out that Jake is responsible for his dad being caught into all this legal drama. Is Douda gonna kill Rose? Is Douda gonna kill Trig? Is Douda gonna kill Papa Daddy? There's a lot of people that Douda can kill at this point in time, but I'm interested to see how all of this plays out. I just hope that they find their footing for season 4, because I felt like with season 3, it was a little bit all over the place. I know you had some huge departures of past cast members, and they were really trying to find their footing and how to handle this 3rd season. I think we got off to a rocky start, and then we really found our balance towards the middle of the season, especially with Keisha's storyline, which I think is one of the strongest storylines that they have. And I do like the addition of Gemma's character for Kevin, and him having a positive influence and someone who's encouraging him to find someone to talk to. So I will be interested to see what Keisha's healing looks like, what Nina and Dre's healing looks like, because I think that they're on the path to, like, you know, they're on their way for something good. I feel like they have a nice, grounded part in their relationship, and I think that they're on the track to really get things together. But for me, the season finale, I think it was okay. But it wasn't the best. To me, if they would have ended with last week's episode, I think that would have been a really strong finale. But I just think that due to the writing for this season, it just felt a little bit all over the place. But I am still invested in these characters and still wants to see, I would still like to see a season 4. But those are pretty much my thoughts on The Chi season 3, episode 10, A Couple, 2, 3. As always, my name is Sharana from Payroll Waits, and if you like what you saw today, make sure you hit the like button, hit subscribe, share this video with your friends, and make sure you let me know in the comment section below, what did you think about this week's episode? How did you feel about this finale? But as always, my name is Sharana from Payroll Waits, and yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much how I feel. I love you guys 3000, and until I see you again, and I will see you all soon.